Yes, everyone, what's going on? Happy New Year. I think this is the first one I've actually properly done since New Year, is it? Or was the other night one? I think the other night was one, wasn't it? Whatever, it's Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us. This is going to be a little bit of talk about the tactical differences between Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's United and Jose Mourinho's United. And then we're going to be hitting up my starting 11, key players, and all that kind of stuff for the Reading game, which we've got tomorrow afternoon. So the number one difference, I've seen a couple of videos this week where people are trying to explain the difference in fullbacks. Any of you that watched the United review show where we look at the Instat data, the difference in the fullbacks is negligible. Actually, Luke Shaw is probably further back than he normally is. The position of the fullbacks receiving the ball and all that sort of stuff hasn't really changed a great deal under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. For me, there's probably three things that's changed a lot. And the first thing is the press. The press has been absolutely phenomenal. Now, Marcus Rashford, he's always going to chase down absolutely every single thing because that's how Marcus Rashford plays the game. But it's not just what Marcus is doing, it's the hunting in the packs that you're seeing from the team in the final third. So often United would drop into a low block, they would allow an opposition to come up to the halfway line, and then they would stop them around about the halfway line. That's not happening at the moment with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's United. United are winning it and turning it over. The Bournemouth game was a great example. We won so many balls in that final third. We won so many balls in the channels because we was putting their fullbacks under pressure. We're putting centre halves under pressure. You see Marcus Rashford putting the goalkeeper under pressure and forcing it out for a throw. And we saw that in the very last game as well. This is what United are now doing, and that's why I think a very key thing to the way we press is, unfortunately, I don't know how Juan Mata fits into this team as a wide player. If we was going to play him as the way David Silva is deployed for Manchester City, then I could see that being a very good way to bring him in. If that's not how you're going to bring him in, I don't think he fits this, and I think someone with a bit more explosivity in the wide areas is probably going to be what we get. The second big thing that you're going to be seeing, or you are seeing, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's United is the transition out of defence. When United are winning it in our third, or we're winning it with David De Gea, we are seeing him release the ball faster. We're seeing the players get the ball down, and they are going super direct. Now, I expected the press, but I didn't expect that transition from defence. And it's been something that's annoyed me for the whole season with United, how slow our build-up is. Thought it was Matic, thought it was Pogba delaying on the ball, but both of those players have absolutely transformed in the last 4 matches since we've switched it up and we've gone under Solskjaer, and probably Carrick and McKenna and probably Mike Phelan's tutelage. I expected the press. I didn't expect the transition speed, because the transition speed isn't something that you see. Now, what Ole was deploying at Mulder was almost like a diet version of what Pep Guardiola uses at Manchester City. Obviously, the players aren't anywhere near as good, and it certainly wasn't as intense as what Guardiola does. But it was a nice, slow, really squeezing sort of possession-based play. It wasn't the super fast, direct football that you're seeing United deploy at the moment. Getting that ball into the channels, getting that ball into the feet of the forward players, and hurting the opposition. The transition speed against Bournemouth, the transition speed against Cardiff was absolutely deadly. Took a little bit of a wobble in the Huddersfield game, and it wasn't so great until we was already 2-0 up in the Newcastle game. But the transition from defence, I think this is where Michael Carrick's coming in, because you've seen a lot of those Michael Carrick style traits in that sort of style of play. The third and final thing is Paul Pogba. Pogba's involvement in every single thing United have done is incredible. 3 assists and 4 goals in 4 matches is not fair, really, in terms of the contribution that he's been putting up. It's actually not fair. Now, the reason that you're seeing this with Pogba, United have sort of changed our shape a little bit. We play with a number 6 and 2 number 8s when you play a midfield 3. It actually looks a little bit more like a 4-2-3-1. In most 3-man midfields, you sort of see a number 6, and then the shuttler, if you like, sits in the half space in between the more adventurous midfielder. They're all given 3 different roles. You don't often see them mirrored, really. Ander Herrera's been doing that job fantastically for United at the moment, with Matic looking brilliant as well as that single pivot. But they're playing almost like a partnership, Matic and Herrera, giving Pogba the freedom. Now, I don't think he's like at number 10. I certainly don't think that's what he's doing. He's still extremely deep. He's certainly a number 8. He's a little bit left-centric for it, if anything. But the ability that he's got to be able to affect the game. Now, against Newcastle, I don't think he tried switching it as much. I don't think he had the space or the outlets on that right-hand side to be switching the play to. But the freedom that Pogba's got has been because of us winning the ball in the final third, because of those fast transitions. Pogba delayed on the ball under Jose Mourinho because of the lack of runners and because of the lack of the speed of us getting up. Now the players all around him are allowed to be getting forward, and you see the numbers that arrive late into the box, and that's where Pogba's picked up a lot of his goals. He's arriving Scholesy style late into the box. Because you're seeing him having options of people to pass to, and the movement of those players, particularly noticeable when Jesse Lingard doesn't play. That's why Paul Pogba looks like the dictator that he clearly is being. And the goals are coming because he's also allowed to get forward into the box. I couldn't be happier with how United have started 4 games. When we looked at them 4 games, we said that's 5 winnable games, including the FA Cup game tomorrow. To actually go out and probably win all 5 of them games, I don't really think we expected it. The test always comes next Sunday against Spurs. Forget about that. The first 5 games was what we wanted to see. What can we see? It's A+. It's 100% happy, I think, from United fans in these first 4 games. We follow that up with a rousing victory tomorrow at Old Trafford, and I think there's going to be a lot of people eagerly anticipating the Spurs game, and with them missing Son, I think we have an opportunity. Right then, let's get into the starting 11 that I would like to see. I'm going to go from back to front. I think we do keep Dave in net. I know Romero played quite a bit under Jose in the cup games, but I think Ollie knows the importance of getting another victory under our belt, maintaining that momentum and winning every single game. It starts at the back with David De Gea. Don't mess this system up at the moment. Lindelof and Jones, it's not perfect, but it's all right at the moment. There's errors in it, there's mistakes in it, and actually Reading's the kind of game where you might expect Lindelof to come unstuck because of the style of play that they'll employ and the style of player that he is. That's why Fellaini's in the team, to shore him up from a little bit of that direct play. I'm going with Shaw on the left. I'm going with Delot, who I think now is worthy of an opportunity. He's not been amazing in his last couple of games. I thought he was really poor against Derby. Going forward is where you see him shine. Defensively is where he needs a little bit of help. I don't think that Reading are going to put too much of a fight up against United. They've been terrible in the matches that I've seen. I haven't bothered watching their entire season, just the last 4 games that Jose Gomez has been in charge for. And I think Delot is going to be an asset to us and provide width and an option on that right-hand side for us. In midfield, ahead of Fellaini. Fellaini's going to have that Matic role. I want him to sit and I want him to do a disciplined job. The sort of job that we've seen him do at West Ham, the sort of job that we've seen him do at Burnley. Ahead of him, 2 Brazilians, Fred and Pereira. Go and prove to me that you're good enough to be playing football regularly at this football club. That should be the go word from Ollie. Pogba gets a rest. Herrera gets a rest. If he's got a little bit of a knock, why risk him? Reading should be brushed aside with our B team. So let's do that. Give Pogba a rest and let him rest up and really go for it against Spurs. And then you've got, on the left-hand side, Alexis Sanchez. We'll talk about him in depth in a second. Big Rom up front. Both of them obviously coming off the bench and being a big part of the goals. The right-hand side is where I think that we have to be a bit adventurous. It's time for Tahith Chong. There are players chomping at the bit. Mason Greenwood is the one that we would all like to see, and I think Mason could come in and stay in. He is ultimately a number 9, but Tahith Chong could play 20 minutes regularly for United. He's not ready to start, but he could easily come off the bench. He's such an impact player. I would tell him, you've got an hour, mate. Go and impress. Go and enjoy yourself and play against a team that you should be better than in Reading and see what you can do. I believe Chong, Gomez and Garner are going to travel. That could just as easily be Angel on the right-hand side there, or even the left. But I think Chong might be the one that gets the nod. In terms of Alexis Sanchez then, what I think Alexis needs to be bringing into this team and what he can be doing as a player in this team is he is a player that I expect probably thrives in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's system. He is a player that likes to press, he's busy, he's energetic, he's aggressive, and it just didn't work for him under Jose Mourinho. If you, a phrase I always said was, if you can get the best out of Paul Pogba and Alexis Sanchez, then you're going to have some team on your hands, because those are two top draw players. Jose couldn't. If Ollie can, United will be a force. Forget about the defence, we'll just outscore everyone. Because this is the guy that we thought we signed. That real, gritty, everywhere, skillful, classy, top finishing player. That's what Alexis Sanchez is. And if he's given the correct freedom and the runners around him, I hope that we can see the player that we thought we signed from Arsenal last January. I really do expect Alexis Sanchez is going to really show us the guy that we thought we bought back in January last year. So that is it for the quick preview. We are sponsored by Perfect 10. Now, I need to go and find a winner from last week's. I'm not sure how I do that on here. I think I have to click on myself. Just one sec, don't stick it up yet. We are sponsored by Perfect 10, and that is free entry, and you can win £10,000. All right, stick it on. I've got my own league. It's called Howson's League, imaginatively enough. And there is a winner every single... I have to pick it, don't I? Every single month, I pick a winner. There you go. Adrian Richards, please get in touch. You are December's winner. You've just won a Manchester United shirt. Hit me up with a screenshot showing that it's you, either on Twitter or Instagram or wherever you want to. But Adrian Richards, let me know, home, away or third shirt, which one do you want, and I'll get that sent out to you. And if you want to win a shirt, then all you got to do is go onto the Sportsman. The link is in the description below. Click on the Perfect 10 game, and then you pick 10 results: home win, away win, or draw. 100% free to enter. You'll win 10 grand if you get all these right, or you'll also win, or instead you can win a United shirt if you don't get all of them right. Because to be honest, man, this is absolutely ninja this week. If you fancy it, you've got to go with Ipswich against Accrington, Derby against Southampton after what they did to us. Oh, I'm having Derby. Let's have it. Sunderland against Charlton. I am going with an away win. I'm going to go an away win with Burton. I'm going to go Scunthorpe to beat Coventry. Cambridge to beat Stevenage. I'm going to say a draw between Mansfield and Carlisle. Crawley I'm going to take. Mac I'm going to take. And I'll take Crewe. And the total goals I'm going to say... It's a cup minute, so I'm going to say 28 will be what I'm saying. So that is it. If you want to get in the mix, the link is in the description below. Free United shirt, just for finishing top of the league at the end of January, like Adrian's just won. Or you've got £10,000 if you can guess all of them correct. You've got up until kick-off tomorrow in the United game, I believe. So come and get in the mix. Like I said, link is in the description below. We got some quotes from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the presser today. So let's have a see what the manager said. And so he said, when I came, they were open and honest. They're going to have a process looking for the next manager. But the more you're here, the more you enjoy it. It's one game at a time. The day they announce the manager, if it's me or someone else, then good luck to them. I like the fact that the door's open there, because closing the door on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would have been madness. Because in the highly unlikely situation that he wins every single game, how mad would it be to get rid of him and bring somebody else in? And the gamble about everything being right for them. So I like that they've kept the door open for him. I don't think he'll probably get it. I, at the moment, would love for him to get it. I think there's been something on the cards with Pochettino. That's why we appointed an interim like this. And then he also had this to say as well. When you come into a club like this, you expect to win games, and when you win 4, you expect to win the next one as well. I don't look at these games and think, well, we can't win that. I think we can win every single game. Oh my God, why can't we just give him the job already? If you've got some questions, get your questions in. Patreon lads, get your questions in. And I'm going to start reading some of those. Shoot Neutrally says, I wouldn't say Marshall is overrated, but once-in-a-lifetime talent. But he's not a once-in-a-lifetime talent. There are players out there at 19 that can be as good or better. I think there's flaws in his game, but he has got a ton of massive attributes. I think he's a very, very serious player. If you can get him flowing with the rest of the team, I think he'll be a nightmare in a good sense. Will I be doing a transfer review this window, says Ross Rossitron. Yes, I've planned one for Monday, but my missus is 9 months pregnant and it should be due anytime between now and Tuesday. So there is a very real chance I might have to disappear for a few days. So it is penciled in for Monday, but it might get canned last minute. I'm expecting a phone call probably about 20 minutes into the match tomorrow because that would be the most inconvenient. Do I think that Mata can do a job in that deeper role? Not deeper. I think if you kept him as a number 8 and used him to find the runners, he's got a lovely pass on him. He's got a lovely shot arriving late into the box as well. And clearly he's excellent from free kicks. That might be how you play him, but aside from that, I don't know. Liam says, Fellaini not at CDM. Play him as a second striker if you want to play him. But he was very effective in the games against Burnley and against West Ham when he was shielding. Like, if you've got a team that's going to go direct down the centre, Lindelof's not the man for you. But there's no other fit defenders, so Lindelof is the man for you. And if you're going to play him, that means Matic needs to play as well to prevent those long balls reaching him. Or you play somebody like Fellaini. That's the reason Fellaini's in the team there. Listening to Ollie in the press conference is like listening to a younger Sir Alex. Give him the job now, says Alan. He's read the book, hasn't he? He's literally just read the book on how to manage from Sir Alex. Do you know what? Like it says down here even. Where is it? This way. There it is. Like the video. I am absolutely enamoured with the things that Solskjaer is saying. The one thing he needs to do, and he doesn't even really need to do it, but we would all love it if he played some of those academy plays. If he'd give out some debuts, that'd be absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it? Fellaini is going to Fenerbahce. Yeah, there's probably something in that. The previous managers that we've had since Sir Alex have all loved Fellaini, and then Solskjaer's walked in and gone, hey, sling it. Getting questions in on Patreon. I'm going to head over there and see what you guys are saying. Let's see what we got in the questions channel. There's no questions in here yet. Come on, lads, slack in. Alrighty. Valencia might as well be behind a fence in our defensive half. He's not been fantastic. I saw Garth Crooks put him in the team of the week. That's mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Valencia offered nothing going forward and nothing defensively. He was a complete passenger in the game. The game passed him by when we had it, and then it passed him by when they had it. It was non-existent. Dean says, over from Ireland tomorrow for the match. Can't wait to see goals and entertaining football. Ollie is a gift and a breath of fresh air. Back in love with United, buzzing for tomorrow. If Fergie is involved now, would he be under Poch? I don't think Fergie's involved. I think literally Ollie's like, he's got him on speed dial. He can ring him at any time. He's obviously worked for years underneath him. He knows the sort of things to be saying, and obviously he's gone out there and he's been successful with Mulder himself, so he kind of knows how to throw them in. Casey Gill says we should have gone after Pulisic. I disagree, to be honest. When you've got a player like Sancho that's gone out there for 7 million, and then you've got a player like Pulisic who's come in and they've paid 57 million for him, 58 million for him, it makes no sense. You've got players like Greenwood who could probably also take his place. Why would you waste 60 million on a player that you arguably could give the opportunity to Chong, you could give the opportunity to Greenwood? Pulisic lost his place to Sancho, and Greenwood is doing better numbers at youth level than Sancho did. We don't know what the difference is going to be like when they break into the first team. If he's given the same opportunities that Sancho got when he went to Dortmund, I think he'll be as good, if not better. Do I know what's happening to Fosu Mensah? No, I think there was some Fulham fan that banged out a lot of stuff that said he was coming back to Old Trafford. I haven't heard either way on that, so I don't know what to say. Ideal but realistic signings for January, then the summer window. Summer's going to depend on who gets the job full time and how they're going to play. If it's Ole and it's this kind of system, I definitely think we need a fullback that's better defensively but also effective going forward. And I definitely think we need a real leader centre half. The Toby Alderweireld one he's wanted to come for us for a year. Make it happen. Let's just make it happen. 25 million is not a risk at the moment at all. 25 million for him, or for a player roughly the same age, in Koulibaly, you got to pay like 90 million more. I thought the Glazers were good businessmen. Just get him in. Just get him in right now. Youth for the vacant right wing position, says Culture Witty. Yeah, I would. I really, 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 really would. Can we get 500 likes on this video, by the way? We're halfway there. It's 1,200 watching. Just like the fucking video. You've got Gomez. You've got Chong. You've got Mason Greenwood. You've even got Nishan at a push, to be honest, for that right wing spot. Just go and say to them, look, we're going to probably sign someone in the summer. You've got 6 months to prove us that we don't need to. Here's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Here's half a game. Go and prove us wrong. And the club could save 100 million by doing so. They really could do. Thoughts on Pereira? The reason I put Pereira in the team because I think he can do a lot of the things. I think he can do things that Pogba can do. Not all of them, but I think he can run a game in a similar sort of way. And he's got a similar sort of creativity. Ilya saying, I don't want Toby. He's 30. Why not? Can you give me a legitimate reason why not? Because he's not going to be here for 10 years. No player's probably going to be here for 10 years apart from like Rashford or something. What's a 30? It's not 30 and finished, is it? It's 30 and probably got 3 or 4 years excellent in him. We need a leader at centre-half. He is a leader at centre-half. If you brought a 22-year-old in, you might hamper the progress of a potential world-class talent like Axel Tuanzebe. If you brought someone in like Toby or like a Koulibaly alongside someone like Lindelof, then you've got a little selection of centre-halves that you can play that are all at different stages in their career. Otherwise, look, when we bought Fabio and Raphael, Fabio was the one we wanted. Raphael came along as part of the deal. Fabio barely played for us because he was behind a bulletproof Paddy Evra. Raphael got his opportunities because he was behind an aging, finished Gary Neville, and he played 100 games for United. It's about getting the game time at the right time. It doesn't matter how good you are, like Fabio, if you don't get those game times to develop. So signing a 30-year-old Toby Alderweireld is more prudent, especially at 25 million, than signing even someone like Varane that you don't know is going to work for us. There's less of a risk there, and obviously it keeps that momentum coming through from the academy, which must have had a massive lift since Ollie's come back in. We need Toby for 6 months. Anyone is a blessing. That's it, man. People pretend that they're all about developing longer term, but they're not really. They want instant, quick fixes, and Alderweireld actually covers both of those bases for me. Which would you prefer personally, Poch or Ollie? Poch still won nothing. Here's the thing, yeah, if they hadn't bottled a couple of their games recently, they would be top of the league. Their squad is good enough to be, starting 11, is good enough to be the best team in the league, but they're not. And why aren't they? You think, could a better manager get more out of that team? Yeah, I think they could. I think he's held them back. Now you can say, yes, he's developed some of their players. Maybe they got into where they are because of some of the signings that he's made. But the fact remains that they've got a better team than United and finished underneath us and haven't won anything in years. That is the problem. That is the problem. Like, he does not win stuff. When will Shaw start putting crosses in? I was looking at this actually this morning when I was looking at the differences in between what Jose's done and how Ollie plays with United. And one of the things that I've definitely noticed is there is a lot less crosses going in. Director of football candidates. Well, there are shortlist videos coming out. The first one is scheduled for Tuesday. That is right backs. We've got a defensive midfielders one scheduled up as well. So kick around for all of those. Tom Talbot has just said, get Jose Jimenez in on a super chat. Thank you for that, mate. Jimenez is a good player as well. Here's the thing. The sad thing about all of this is there is a lot of centre-halves and players, even playing in the Prem. There's players at Bournemouth and everywhere that would tangibly improve Manchester United. That would be better than Phil Jones. That would be better than Ashley Young. And certainly better than Antonio Valencia. We're Man United. We should just go and get them. But anyway, that is my quick little preview about what to expect, certainly in starting 11 terms. United should turn up and blow Reading away. They are not good. They've lost 3 of the last 4. They drew 0-0 to the one that they didn't lose. This should be a walkover. It will be tough. They will park the bus. They will look at what Huddersfield and Newcastle have done under this Ollie reign, and they will try and deny the space. But United will get the job done. Have faith. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to make it 5 out of 5. Give us a like if you agree. Get me your comment, predictions, and all that sort of stuff. I am going for 4-0 United. 4-0 FC is going to return. I'll see you in the next one.